I used to dread doing this part. Then when I was watching another mixed media artist and saw what she did, I was blown away. Let me show you how to take the tedious, slow process of antiquing and get it done in seconds. Hey there, Sandy here. Welcome to another creative tutorial at keepsakecrafts.net. Here's the usual process of antiquing a sculpted piece. And I have to admit, I absolutely hate it. First, you take a perfectly nice sculpted piece and cover it with paint. Why would you do that? Well, of course we know why. It's called antiquing, and it brings out all those beautiful details you created. But then after painting, then there's the waiting. Is it dry enough? Or, oh no, I forgot about it, and now it's too dry, and it's hard work. You've got to wipe off all that paint, and it's such a mess. And if there are delicate bits on your piece, you risk breaking them while wiping off the paint. And that's why I was so excited when I was watching a Craftsy class and saw a much, much better way to do antiquing. This product is the key, high flow acrylics. You can find these at craft stores like Michael's, and they are not at all expensive. So instead of painting on a thick layer of paint, all you have to do is first shake the bottle well, and it does have one of those marbles in there, so you want to make sure it's flowing. Add a few drops to your piece. You can add it to the work surface and paint it on, but I like to just add it right to the piece and then use my brush to spread it about. Spritz with a little water. And then lightly dab off the excess with a tissue or a paper towel. And that's it. Perfect antiquing in seconds. Here are two side by side. This one I did with the high flow acrylics, and this one I did with the heavy body paint. The main difference you see here is the color, because I could not find the high flow acrylic in this darker raw umber shade before recording this video, but you can be sure I have some in my Amazon shopping cart. The one on the left took at least 30 minutes of painting, letting it dry, then wiping, and then there was the cleanup of rags and the work surface and brushes and fingers. This one on the right took about 10 seconds, then just a quick wipe of the work surface and a rinse of the brush. You may wonder if you can't just water down the heavy acrylic paint and use that in a similar way, and the answer is yes. Hey there, me here with just a quick interruption to let you know that if you love creative tutorials like this one, you should consider becoming a patron. My patrons, these lovely people, they get weekly behind-the-scenes looks at my creative process and sneak peeks into new projects. Oh, and they get a bonus tutorial every month too. Learn how you can join in the fun at patreon.com/SandySewin. And back to your video. So can you mix paint with water and antique using this method? Yes, you can, but it's not nearly as convenient and pretty wasteful of paint. First, you have to mix your paint in a container, add just the right amount of water, not too much or too little, and you only use a tiny amount of this mixture to antique a project. Also, if you're not using a high-quality, well-pigmented paint, watering it down may not give you the color you want. If the pigment is good, the results are very similar, so it's definitely a better method than the one I showed earlier, brushing on the paint, letting it dry, wiping it off. But you still have a dish full of paint to get rid of. I suppose you could cover it with a piece of press and seal and save it for antiquing your next project, but to me that sounds like a mess waiting to happen. And by the way, you don't just have to use brown for antiquing, you can do any color you like. I especially love the look of doing it with white. This one, maybe not love so much, maybe a different color, but you can do it with blue. So here's the sepia, the white, turquoise. This is the heavy body paint, and this is it before antiquing. By the way, the class where I learned about this product is New Approaches to Mixed Media Materials by Carol Nelson. I will link it in the description. I hope you're as excited about this technique as I am. And now that you know it, you'll want to do some sculpting in polymer clay, just so you can antique it. Check out this polymer clay sculpting playlist I put together for you. Happy creating.